Good evening, Vanakkam, everyone. This is Hussein Ahmed from Chair Academy. So, in program, we have a very eminent chief guest, a very special person, Mr. VENKATESH SIVARAM, sir. Welcome, Venkatesh Sivaraman, sir, for our program. Thank you so much. So, Venkatesh Sivaraman, sir, is the managing director of WINOVA Enterprises Coimbatore. So, Coimbatore and Bangalore, they have their offices there. And இன்னைக்கு ஸ்பெஷலா வந்து he is going to share his insights and views. அதாவது என்னன்னா ஒரு entrepreneurshipனா என்ன மாதிரியான challenges நீங்க ஃபேஸ் பண்றது, challenges எப்படி அவுட்கம் கொண்டு வரலாம் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கான ஒரு பயங்கரமான இன்சைட்ஸ் நமக்கு வந்து சார் கொடுக்க போறாரு. So as usual நான் 2 வாரத்துல பார்த்த மாதிரி we are going to ask those questions. அதுக்கு அவருடைய அனுபவத்திலிருந்து பதில்களை சார் சொல்ல போறாரு. So we'll start the session. Sir, once again welcome to the session, sir. Charan Academy மூலமா we welcome to the session. Thank you so much, sir. So we'll go with the question, sir. First question, உங்களுடைய entrepreneurial journey, அதாவது ஒரு தொழில் அதிபரா ஒரு பிசினஸ் மேக்னெட்டா உங்களுடைய ஜர்னி நீங்க எப்படி தொடர்ந்தீங்க, அது எப்படி சார் இருந்துச்சு உங்களுடைய ஜர்னி, அதை பத்தி கொஞ்சம் பிரீஃபா சொல்லுங்க எங்களுடைய ஆடியன்ஸ்க்கு.
Good evening, friends, young Turks, young entrepreneurs. It's a pleasure to be talking to you guys. I would like to thank Hussein Ahmed for introducing me, except that I am not I've been running some businesses. Some have been failures, some have been successful. I'll just give a brief background of what we started off with. I'm in the third generation in the business family. My father started the textile business, Sri Venkatesh Sivaraman. Then later on, my father, Mr. Sivaraman, laid the foundation for marketing. And I stepped into the shoes of as an apprentice when I was 17 years old, when I was doing my graduation in Coimbatore in commerce. From there on, I went on to join a full-time business in 1983. Basically because his health had deteriorated, and I was forced to step into business with him. It was a great journey because, except for selling coffee in the organization, I've done every other job in the organization. I was treated like an employee and had gone through all the hardships. I even unloaded stock from the lorries, loaded lorries, etc. This was when we were distributors of Bombay till 1997. From a turnover of about 20 lakhs a month, we were able to carry it over to about 6.5 crores a month, which is 72 crores in a year. And we did 46% of Bombay turnover in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Pondicherry, and Middle East. We had 176 showrooms. And the nearest distributor, who amongst 24 distributors, was our monthly sales in his annual turnover. We took a lot of pride in doing that. And we made a mark, and my father earned a name, and he laid the foundation for our businesses. In 1997, we ventured into a joint venture with Crocodile International Singapore to bring the brand in India, and we ran it in 2007. And the brand was, and the company was sold, Crocodile Products Private Limited was sold to Escape Paddles. And also made the mark as #1 brand amongst all the countries of Crocodile International. Ours is one of the best-selling brands, best-selling as a brand equity that we could arrive in amongst the various surveys done by Carlyle US. Then I went as a professional into a company called Indus, and Indus Garments, and Indus Fila, where I was a professional from a loss of 60 lakhs a month. We were able to bring it down to about profit of about 5 lakhs a month, which is about close to 60 lakhs a year, from a loss of 6 crores in a year. Okay. It's a great achievement because I attended the logistics, be it in the textile plant or in the garmenting manufacturing unit. In the year 2010, the bug bit me again. 2011, it bit me again to get into business because of the problems that we faced in our situation in Coimbatore and the waste management issues here. So we went into waste to energy in Bangalore. Okay. And start a new plant in Bangalore in 2 places. the course of the next 2 years, which is converting municipal solid waste to power. We'll be generating 84 million units in a year and exporting to the grid. In Coimbatore, we've started a company in the last 6 years called WINOVA, which is with Swedish collaboration, which does hygiene products, which today you see sanitizers with alcohol and with gel, etc. We were a little ahead of time starting it with non-alcoholic. We today do both alcoholic and non-alcoholic hygiene products, and we're quite successful in it, and we've got a good repute in terms of brand image as well as product quality is concerned.
Okay.
This is the journey that we took through over the last 37 years of my career.
Okay, sir.
I can tell you.
Fantastic, sir. Sir, now that leads to a second question. You have an extensive 37 years of precious experience under your belt. Now, you have seen various stages of entrepreneurship conversion. So, right from door-to-door knocking to digital marketing, you have seen. So, how do you see this transformation of entrepreneurship of the business development, sir?
See, the dynamics of business in the yesteryear years or prior to 2005 to 2007 onwards, the dynamics of business have changed.
Okay.
One, there was a pyramidical structure, which I'll explain to you on my presentation later.
Okay.
Was upper income, middle income, lower middle income, or upper, between the upper income and the middle income, there was an upper middle class. There were 4 segments of the pyramid.
Okay.
Today it is all squared. The dynamics have slowly evolved from a triangle to a square, because you find people with a lot of expendable income they get as far as products are, as far as people are concerned.
Okay.
Well paid is one end. Second, you're also finding a lot of good businesses growing very fast.
Okay.
You're also finding the businesses which have been more into traditional businesses, which I call, are slowly phasing out. And the way you look at business have changed over the years to come.
Yeah.
And two, the concept of over the years, you will have to be innovative on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. It cannot be like what happened in 30 years ago. If somebody had a steel rolling mill, he would always say that I'm set this generation and the next 3 generations. It is not the case.
That's not the case.
Dynamics have to change. The dynamics obviously change to a very large extent. And if you don't innovate, it becomes a problem.
Okay.
You'll have to re-engineer yourself as much as possible. You are not in the same business that what used to be 5 years ago. For example, we were in the business of sanitizers. We cannot call ourselves being in the business of sanitizers. We need to call ourselves in the business of hygiene today.
Yeah.
Personal protection equipment is one side. Hygiene has become a major product. You will have to cater to all the products of hygiene today, or redefine yourself and re-engineer yourself to be to today's requirement of the market.
Okay. Fantastic.
I hope I've answered your question.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. That was an extensive and beautiful answer. Sir, now I just want to ask the third question. Now, in a business, there's always an ups and downs. We face ups and downs in our business. So generally, self-motivation or driving force is something that is something we absolutely require in a long-term run. So according to you, I mean, what is your driving force, sir?
When I started my career in the year 1993, 92, 93, it was top line sales was very important. Which set a start for me at that time from between 1992, 93 to 1994, 95. At the time, we never looked at the bottom line. We always felt that the top line is important, bottom line is taken care of so long as you have your controls, measures, etc. Between 95, 97 to 2003, logistics played a very key important area in terms of ensuring the quickest delivery time, the least stock, and the lowest working capital norms we need to apply on. That made a change. And the North Star shifted from being top line sales to create a brand awareness, which is very important, and to be socially responsible. The social responsibility becomes very important because, be it whether it's employment or be it society, you do your business not only for making money, the money making aspect becomes secondary. Are you contributing to the society becomes a critical path. That becomes a driving force. And ensuring that you are not becoming a charitable organization, but at the same time being a sustainable organization, ensuring that you are delivering to the society what is required.
Correct. Okay.
I'm done with the question.
Okay, sir. Sir, right now, viewers, Venkatesh sir has a small presentation prepared for us. So, sir, shall we go with the presentation?
Yeah. It's just a 3-page presentation to make you understand where we come from and what we need to attend to. See, management is a process of designing and maintaining an environment in which individuals working together in groups efficiently and accomplish selected aims. See, in an organization may have large number of people, be it 100, be it 50, be it 500, 1,000. Each selected group will have its own aim and objectives to be achieved on. Once you do that, it becomes very good. The next slide is talking of something which is called people, which I have taken it from Jack Welch of GE. Part of it. P is productivity. Efficiency is very important. Excellence is very critical. In any job that you do, you'll have to do it excellently well. And then you'll have to be persistent. It is not the days when it was in the past where you could do a job, ensure it is achieved, and then you can move on. Today, you'll have to persistently keep driving at it to achieve it. A is for attitude, which you all know. The attitude towards business is very, very critical. You need to be achieving. You need to teach your people, your team, your members, your colleagues, your peers that attitude in the business is most critical. And loyalty towards the organization is very critical, and the assignment that you're doing to ensure that we all achieve mentally on a daily basis, weekly basis, the purpose on which we are into the organization for. See, the loyalty is not towards the management alone. Please understand, there is a difference between loyalty towards management and loyalty towards the assignment. I'm here talking of loyalty towards assignment. We go to the next slide where we talk of organizational goals, require your planning, controlling, organizing, influencing, which goes into multiple areas, which is no more pyramidal, etc. Next one, please. See, earlier times it was top management, middle management, supervisory, operational management. Down the line, you have your skilled workers, etc. Today it shifts from human skills, technical skills, cooperative skills, has shifted dynamically from a pyramidal to square step skill sets. That's it. I can go to the next question today.
Okay.
Everybody knows about it. This is a regular.
Okay, fantastic. Sir, now that takes me to the next question. So, in a business journey, failure is inevitable. So, how do you handle failure or situations like that?
Primarily, I will have to give a lot of credit to my father in terms of being supportive when I had failures. We had a lot of assignments while we were in distribution and logistics business of Bombay.
Okay.
We had a lot of failures. I had taken a lot of experiments, but still, he would not discourage me from taking new experiments. He would not discourage me from me traveling to new roads, new cities, etc. One of the examples is a brand called Vivaldi. We failed on the first extent called Capitan shirts. Thereon, he still allowed me to try on Vivaldi shirts, which was our brainchild for South India. And then later on, Vivaldi went national. We had a very fair amount of success because we were introduced the same way back in the year 1989. Okay. And we had an extremely good reactive response from the consumers.
Okay.
Similarly, I, in my personal level, have tried new products. For example, converting air to water machines, which is a very successful machine, but the concept was correct, but the process was wrong because the consumption of power was quite high, and it was not able to meet the requirements of economy.
Okay.
Because the concept of power was becoming, the cost of power was much higher. Yep. Next question.
Okay, sir. So the next question is something inevitable in businesses or something to expect out of a business is competition. So many business have, they are in dust because of competition, or they are not right now doing good in market because of competition. So how do you handle a business competition, sir?
See, primary point to understand is, if there is no competition, there is no money in the product. Only if there is money in the product, there is competition. Then comes your operational efficiency to make better out of it. For simple reason, I was associated with Crocodile for a 10-year period, where the chairman of the company, Dato Tan, used to always say, only when there is competition, you know that there is money in it. So you need to deep dive into it to get the details. The same is the case with fishing also. Unless you go to some of the deep waters, you'll not be able to get the best of fishes. In shallow waters, you'll never be able to get waters. For example, there are non-competitive business. Non-competitive businesses are very difficult to achieve because there is no much of money in it.
Yes.
It may be available at a very high cost and a very high risk.
Yes.
Which is difficult to achieve, or you need a very deep pocket to do that. Whereas competition means that there is money in it. Okay. Today, for example, if there is large number of restaurants which have come about in most cities, today people know that there is money in delivering food or making food and requirement of cuisine which is available. If there is no money in it, there will not be so many restaurants. Obviously, there is money in it.
Yes.
Same is the case with today, if you take garments. Today, people don't put in too much of money and effort into textiles not because of competition, because they feel that there is no more depth in terms of availability of margins in the product.
Okay. Okay, sir. Sir, next question. Now, this is a bit on a personal side as we discussed. So, work-life balance. So, how to do that, sir?
Members, friends, I'm not the right person to talk about the subject because I have not balanced my life on business, professional, and family very well. Okay. I feel I have let down my family, but I have not spent enough time with them. I should have actually taken a lot of time with the family, which I didn't. My advice to members, younger members is, though you may have a lot of hard work, you may have a lot of challenges in your career, you may have a lot of pressure from your organization, you may have a lot of pressure based on your objectives that you have set to achieve. I would still request you all to spend a fair amount of proportional time with your family to see that they are all comfortable. Today, the situation is different from what we were in. Most of the people those days I'm talking about the 80s and 90s, early 90s, the women were mostly managing the houses. Men used to work. Today it is not the case. Both men and women have equal footing in organizations, professional as well as careers. So I would request both of you to spend a fair amount of time in ensuring that the family grows, values are given, cultures are well maintained.
Fantastic.
And I'm not the right example for it. Thank you.
So coming to the last question. So right now is the trend of startups and new business entrepreneurs. So what is the piece of advice that you would love to give to these kinds of budding entrepreneurs?
today in the stage where I take advice from youngsters. I'm not in the stage where I'm giving advice to the youngsters here. I'm on the reverse situation because the knowledge and the data that you have today is immense. You have great amount of data. You have large amount of data to assimilate, filter, take what you require. My opinion would be is to stay focused on what you want to do, be persistent in what you want to achieve, and you'll have a great achievement in the course of X number of years. Do not expect quick returns to happen. It may not be efficient way of looking at your career. You need to look at how best you can achieve on a long-term perspective, and ensure that you're socially responsible and sustainable.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. That's great, sir. And thank you so much, Venkatesh sir, for coming out here and giving பயங்கரமான ஒரு இன்சைட் எங்களுக்கு கொடுத்தீங்க. வியூவர்ஸ்க்கு பயங்கரமா யூஸ்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கும், especially for budding entrepreneurs who want to make big in their life. Your experiences, it's to be cherished and valued. Thank you so much for allotting time and spending it with us in this beautiful evening, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Venkatesh sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
I'm disconnecting and I'm.
Yes. I'll disconnect it, sir. No problem.